Hey people, I did this movie on Anubis El Cannabis the other day, about 30 minutes, and I was reading in the Greek and I was showing you where in this book of Judges where it's talking about the birth of Samson is what they say. It's actually talking about the dog Anubis, and it's all about a dog. And I wanted to show that in the Hebrew it's the same thing. It's talking about the dog in the tarot. You know, the Hebrew looks like this. It's the top line, Judges 13. It goes down one line, and then it has this P here. And like I said, when I first started reading this, I said this P has to stand for a picture, a seal that was removed. You know, there's P's and S's usually, and sometimes R's and I's at the end of the line. But I believe that P stands for a picture. And the picture it's missing looks like this. You know, it's the fool, it's the vagabond with the vagabond and the little dog. And usually he wears an old fool's cap, you know, and he's the fool, he's comedian. The dog biting on his ass. And that's why this Greek word for Philistine is all a fool on. But there's also a rising of a white sun, and he totes a white rose. This is known as Albarossa. And Albarossa is also on the death card. And they give the death card number 13, but it doesn't have a sign underneath. And that happens often. You see the 12 is the pending, the L, and then there's no sign on the death card. And it goes to the 14. You know, the Temperance is the N. And so the death is the M here, but you're not seeing it. It's L-M-N. The 13th is the M, which is also the 40. And you see often that the fool is missing his number, and the S would suggest that it was number 21. Which see also in this deck, you know, the 21 is the T. It goes from QR and skips the S. So the S become the 22, then the T that became the 21. So the 22 is the 0, the fool, and that's why it doesn't have a number. You see on this deck, you know, he has his banner, but it's empty. It's missing. And you see this, and he's got his feather in his hat, you know, out to corrupt. And this is that white rose. And so the death card doesn't necessarily mean death. It means rebirth, you know, a new clean slate. And this white rose, you know, the Alba, all in rose of York is the keeper. New York is the new keeper. All in rose of the keeper. And that's where they're getting in this birth of Samson in the first line. This 40 years. It's coming from this word here, and it's au revoir. Au revoir. The M, you know, missing. Au revoir, missing. Au revoir, mission. You know, au revoir, you know, goodbye until we meet again is gone. You know, and au revoir is gone, missing. And so it's talking about your dog that ran away, but it's also talking about 40 years. 40 years has a significance in the Bible. 40 days and 40 years comes up often. You know, 40 years is known as the time it takes for a new generation to arise. It symbolizes a period of testing or trial or probation. And that's why you see it come after the card of pending, you know, on probation, pending, the hanged man. And 40 days to help emphasize times of trouble and hardship. You know, the Latin season is 40 days. But this 40 years, you know, it's in this little phrase that this turns and reads different ways. But the 40 years, they're getting that from, you know, people that knew that the A word's read backwards. We're reading this is from M, from job, resign. You know, from the job resign in 40 years. But where they're getting the 40 card here is, you know, files, F-Y-L-S. And the files at time, au revoir, are gone missing. The files at time are gone missing. And that one trip, you're reading this word backwards and forwards first. It's you abide and might slip list, MYTSSLP, to might slip the listum are. The list might slip list them are. That's 40 years for a deserter. Might slip listum au revoir missing. You get a 40-year sentence. But where they're getting this Philistine from is this past when you're reading all the lower markings. Then it's piles at shit. The piles at shit are Veo. Veo is a shallow spot to walk across. Piles at shit are shallow spot to walk across missing. And so shittum, that's also the word for acacia. Time is talking about acacia, the shittum. Pile shittum are way missing. So it seems what it's talking about between the Hebrew and the Greek is the fool and death combination. And so they both, mean the new beginning, and that's what they have in common is the alba rose, all in rose. And so put them together, and it's a sign of a new beginning. So death is seen as innovation and fool is the new beginnings. And so together it's a sign of something soon is going to change. Death always looked like he's raking up a hordes of piles of shit. But what it doesn't say is 40. What it says is, the files of time, are gone. Au revoir from sign. The files of time are gone from sign. And so it's setting it up here. This first line is giving you a picture. And then, the second, third line talks about an angel came. And all through here, the woman will say, what's your name? And he never given up his name. The angel never gives up his name. But it gives up his name, rank, and serial number right here. And it's the wisp of in his roll. The wisp of in his roll. A wisp is like the wind of in his roll. And it means, and he rolls in like the wind. The wisp of in his roll. And los wateros. Those what the hero. And so Hera, that's coming from Hercules. Coming from heroes, a demigod, a hero, to watch over, protect. And coming from Greek heroes, to watch over, the Hera. It's where your word Hercules come from. The divine hero, the Heracall is, whichever hero you're calling to. And was the son of all coming in Zeus, the God's son. Of those what the hero by oying, by calling. Oy is to call, and the N-I is ing. And the dot says pick up the I, and two dots underneath, and by calling. The hero by calling. The hero call is Hercules, what it's talking about. And it's the same story, coming from the same place in Nazareth as Jesus. And an angel comes to warn. And that's what this next couple lines are about. And so the angel comes to tell about, you shall conceive and bear a son, the bringer of news, to fool of death. And wisp of in his roll, los what hero in oying, hero by oying. You who it in you abide, files time, au revoir from sign, gone. The files of time are gone from sign. And so, it looks like, the wisp of in the wind, is where your word whisper comes from. The wisp, and then in the ing is cycling. whispering, the wisp of in his roll of did evil in the sight is losatero by oying, losatero by calling. Losatero, I bind them. I bind them by calling. Losatero by calling. And the wisp of in his roll, I bind them by calling. You who it attendum, you abide. Might it slip list, ism job resign. The ism, the belief, job resign. And then the fool cars down here in the next line, and it's from zero. And yea, a is a had from zero. Them from spot had any to use from. Being that his number is zero, you can add that letter in any word and it won't change the value of the word. And yea, and let there be, and let there be. And yea is when you're taking a vote on something, if the yeas win, it will be. And yea, a is, they is. And yea, they is, the power had. The power had from or empty with zero. The power with zero, them, and then ma from spot. From spot in any to use them. USEIM. From any spot to use them. To use them women, to use them women. To use them women. To use them women which was two. Which the women which was it too. And yea, a is a had. They is the ones that have from zero, mit zero, with zero, them from spot, had any use from women which was it too. And whose name was, to use them women which, to use them for their name, had any use them men which, was it to, was it to offer to Lilith. And, I tell you the D and the TH interchange. It's probably one of them spots so you don't see it, but it's will yield, what comes out of will yield, and yea, a is a had, mit, with zero, Emma spot, them a spot, them a spot, the zero, them a spot, had any use them, the women which was it to offer to Lilith, to will yield it, offer, will yield, yield is the final total, the barren and no children, won't add anything, the offer will yield, he's just a joker, he's just got any value and no home. Where from lack you they who hails as, where and from lack, and the little dots they add an I here, and from lack and then backwards YEWU, where from lack you and then EY they, and then who, and then HALE. Who hails as. Hails is the place where you come from, and you're not from a place. You're a drifter. And from lack you, they who hails. No homies. And then the dots, and the dots double it up and add to A. As, and from lack you, they who hails as. And then is, the AE turns into the ES. Is ace. ASE. The ace. And yammer a lie. And tell a lie. So this indeed now you are barren and no have borne children is Enyamara lion hiana. Enyamara lion hiana, as in to the judge. Lion hiana. At jerk offer. The J's reading the final I here. And backwards at the jerk offer. You are barren. And it's not no, but it's will. Yield to a writ. This is T-I-W to two and then E-R-I-T. A writ, to write out a legal paper. And this isn't no, but this is will. And will a yield to a writ. Willed it to vend. Willed it T-I-V-E-N. Willed it to vend. Will yield it where it willed it been. Will yield it, will put out where it willed it, where I said it would have been. And so that's talking about the Joker. The Joker is whatever it wants to be. It could be a 3, or it could be a king, or it could be an ace. And where from lack you, they who hails, you don't have a sign telling where you're from. Where who hails as is ace. It's cool to not be put in a box, to be anything you want to be. Is ace. To tell a lie, to yammer a lie, in he honor at jerk offer. At jerk offer, court jester, he bounces around and playing games, and he offers you something of value and then jerks it back with a string. The jester jerk offer. So it's like telling your girlfriend, I'm gonna divorce my wife and marry you, no jerk offer. Will yield it where it willed it been. And here's a good one that proves my theory. Now therefore be careful, please, and do not drink wine or strong drink is what is. The line underneath says had an A, E. So it's what is. And what is the Sassa? S-A-S-A. What is the Sassa marine? A marine wallet. Backwards after the mark. What is the Sassa Marine's wallet as it tests? What is the Sassa Marine's wallet as it tests? You test a Marine's wallet. That's what it's for. It's for drinking. But what you're drinking is gin. What is the Sassa Marine wallet? 'Tis a testy gin. 'Tis a testy gin. And secure to all ill cat. To clee column Tom. And secure to all the ill cat is that weed that they chew down there in Egypt at speed. It's secure all ill cat. To attach, to clee, to attach, to column Tom. Unclean tomcat. So this isn't the only way this reads. It reads again in following different directional markings you see here and different rules. And so the same line repeats and keeps talking about the same thing and tells all the qualities that were in the birth of Hercules. And you can see down here in the birth when he was named, what are these as having, what occur, Adam Simius same is when. Adam semi same is when. To name them the same as when, what occur. And so what are these? This is like TH, EAS. What are these? And then as AS. And then, HVEN, having. And what are these as having? What occur at them semi-same as when? To name them the same as. Name them the same as the times that occur. Via guide all in your. Via, V-I-A, to go and GID, to guide all, and then the dots on top saying your, YOR, and your, and to name them all semi-same is when who guide all in your, in the children's stories in your, and then Rikuyu isn't blessed. Your wife Rikuyu is to refuse you. Riku, to reject. What tell days is having what occur. Who's gonna tell the story? Adam's semi-same is when, similar to the story. Who guide all in your, teaches the children, who guide all in your. The wife recuse you. The wife rejects you. But when the angel's talking about this child gonna be born, it uses this word many times. And be careful and don't drink and eat anything unclean. For you will bear a son, and razor no shall come upon his head, for a Nazarite to God shall be. A Nazarite, same place as Jesus from. Key and on key, here willed it been. This key and on key, key, they'll say this is the earth, and on key is the earth god, on key. On is the stars, and the key is the earth. And so they're reading that wrong, I'm sure, in the Sumerian tablets too, but this key replaces the W, same as the Kai in the Greek, and it replaces the Vav, it's a W. And so it's when, and it's when a key, AKI, and when here. And so it's saying when here. It's kind of making a joke with it, here at this place, and hear what I'm saying. And when here, willed it been, willed it have in, willed it have in 'em, where less lay, where less lay. Lay is when you did a good job and a standing ovation, lay. That's what a Spanish woman hollers if you do her just right, lay. And here willed it have in 'em, where less lay, us arose, a key, a here again, a key. To less lay, all us arose, here is risen. That's why Jesus come from Nazareth, because that's how they got him to risen backwards. And risen is Israelis. My I, inner man, not of is, and then we, and wail, WAIHL, and then we wail, Lucia, the light, Lucia, the ancient god of childbirth, the light, Lucius, goddess of childbirth, safeguard of the lives of women in labor. And we wail, Lucia, the light to deliver. The lady to come deliver, Lucia. Tailors his roll. Tailors to shapes his roll. From the hand files its aim. The files its aim. From the hand the files, the love. The pedophiles, the petty loves. The philos, the love, and the files it aim, the loves it aim. From the hand loves it aim, the hand of Lucia, the deliverer. So there's no doubt, that Lucia is deliverer of Israel out of the hand of the files it aim. And so your word Lucifer, is coming from the light, to deliver. And the fur part's coming out of this part right here, this QRA, Lucifer, and the light called. So the child from the womb, is the Norman. And so Nor, that says an Arabic word meaning light. The light man, the white man, the Normans. They were all pretty pale. And the Norman not vesting then, we wail, Lucia, the light at Taylor's from the hand files at aim. So I want to show y'all one more thing. I was looking at the Tower card, and the one that come before it, you know, it's got a devil dressed in drag here, and it looked like George Bush dressed in drag, and he got Hillary Clinton and Osama bin Laden as chained up sex slaves. And this LaForce over here, the 11 card, she's prying the mouth open of the lion. You'll see the same thing in representations of Hercules and Samson. And La Luna over here, you could tell that this is the midday sun. This is a new moon. It's an eclipse. The moon's covering up the sun. You see the sweat rays, you know, coming off the sun. And so it makes me think this dot here is the same as in the Hebrew, and this reads La, and then backwards L-A-E, or less new Luna, the new moon.
Don't forget, I won't forget.
Alright, I'm gonna cut this off here. Good day.